Who's doing the intro today?
Well, me, I
I don't
guess.
feel too strong. Okay. Uh, I'll count you in. Ready?
Okay. Yes.
All right. Three, two, one.
¿Qué pasa, campeones? Welcome to the Churros y Tácticas podcast. It is Tuesday, the 11th of April. Kian and I are back together again. We're back, baby! We hope all of you have had a nice Easter's, a nice Semana Santa. Hopefully, you guys got together for the celebrations. If you celebrate that, there's Passover, if I'm not mistaken, for our Jewish listeners. There is Ramadan for our Muslim listeners. All kinds of things happening around these dates for the different religions. If you're the Dalai Lama, you're asking a little boy to suck your tongue. So it's crazy. It's crazy. It's hey, I didn't say it. The Dalai Lama said it. So
I might be
what
out of the loop on that one. I don't know what
are
you're
you
talking about.
serious, dude? It's insane. I don't know how people are not no se enteran, how they're not in the loop about this. It's been news everywhere. Also, I say this because my sisters and my closest friend didn't know about it, and I was like, "You haven't seen it?" There's video footage of the Dalai Lama. We all know who
I
he
just
is, of
Googled it.
course. And
And I,
hmm,
uh,
it,
that's a,
it,
I am disgusted.
well, let me give context to it, if you will. But yes, it is disgusting. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Basically, this boy, I don't know exactly what the event is, but it was this boy's lifelong dream. It's a young boy, I don't know, maybe around between the ages of 10 and 12. Lifelong dream to meet the Dalai Lama. He does so. He's Dalai Lama sitting in his chair, microphone in front of him, the media, the world media in front of this man. The boy gives him a hug, what you could call a hug, I guess. The Dalai Lama sort of does that awkward sort of like kiss thing. The boy like pulls away. Then the Dalai Lama kind of laughs and does an awkward thing of like putting the heads together. Again, religious leaders. That's why I'm not a religious man, but they have their awkward ways of socializing and talking to people, or like, they can touch people somehow. Anyway, then he fucking comes out and says, "Why don't you suck on my tongue?" Says it like in the mic. Everybody's sort of awkwardly chuckling. The boy's like, "Fuck that idea. I'm definitely not doing that." Like, I didn't want to kiss your nasty ass. And then the chuckle some more. Anyway, the video ends, and obviously then it went viral. News outlets everywhere was writing about it, and the Dalai Lama posted something on his social media saying, "Yeah, I'm sorry, and that was inappropriate." Yeah. So here
Okay.
we are.
This is disgusting. That's a terrible way to start the podcast. I don't tell you. Um,
I don't think
why don't
so.
we?
I think the world should know about this kind of sick shit so that we stop taking these people so holy. Like, these are the holiest of holy, the moral, the most virtuous people in the world that we cling to every word for like sanity. In the meantime,
The only
it's a
people
fucking
you should be
sicko.
worshiping are me and Diego. We are the only infallible, ethically superior people here that you guys should be taking examples to. Because we bring your churros y tácticas. So far, we got the churros out of the way. Now let's talk about some tácticas. Um,
Keanu wants to skip this page quick, like.
I'm ready to turn the page here. I just want to say that I don't know if we can somehow get this in writing
Hmm.
and hold ourselves to this. Every single Clásico, somehow after you and I cannot get together. Now, I think, truth be told, the patron rave reviews from Patreon on the weekend show, everyone thought you did an unbelievable job at
So much.
time, like a face to face conversation, so it flowed naturally. But as great as it was, Diego left the podcast for a second. He's back. Diego, I was just filling in on our listeners about like the great job we did in the part 2, making it seem like it
Thank
was a
you.
real conversation. So masterfully done.
Cheers.
But I would just say we got to hold ourselves, like
Yeah.
we got to make an oath to say we gotta, no matter what, Easter, Christmas, the apocalypse, the aliens,
Yeah.
kids swimming,
Trust
kids'
me,
birthdays,
you
not they
know,
can. We have to make sure we record together.
it's
after the
true.
next Clásico.
It's true. It's true. And this is not an excuse or defense, but I did text you on the night. I said I could do it tonight. I don't think you saw it because you were off, obviously, doing your Managing Madrid pods.
I did see it, but while I was recording.
Yeah.
My Managing Madrid podcast, yeah.
And then the next day, I had those again, the commitments, not just with my family, but also with friends and their kids, and it wasn't possible. The universe has it out against us when it comes to recording together in post Clásicos. At least, we're on a bad streak. I think over the 6 years we've done our post Clásicos, we're on a bad streak. Es una mala racha. This one falls on me wholeheartedly. And look, man, it was the last one as well, so there won't be any Clásico for a while, until next season, to be quite, or till the preseason.
Oh my God, I pray to God we get another Vegas friendly.
I think there is. I think it's like
please,
already in the books. Yeah.
Please, I had way too much fun in Vegas last summer. And my body is ready to go back to Las Vegas to watch Real Madrid play against Barcelona. Whatever happens on the field, I don't care. I don't even care if we lose that game. The Catalan journalist next to me can celebrate like he won the Champions League title. I'm okay with it. I just want to be in Vegas for another few days watching Real Madrid and Barcelona. I want to crash. I want to crash the Barcelona training again, like I did last year.
God damn it, Kian. You have me really intrigued, and I would imagine all of our listeners as well. We want to know what the fuck happened in Vegas, and don't give me that what happened in Vegas, this Vegas. Okay.
What? You have to come to Vegas.
I will come
Clásico. This is unacceptable. Right, you just follow your club.
Let me see this, okay?
They can't you gotta they gotta be able to pay for that to come so you can come to that, right? You work for them.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, the reporters go. The reporters go. As a presenter,
I think you have to make a pitch. You have to make a pitch
in the studio, so you don't get to travel with the team. There's other people that travel with the team. You understand?
Can you make a pitch? Say, hey, I have this idea.
I could try. Yeah.
We want to follow the team and interview and make a special I don't know, come up with a pitch and make it work.
I will work on it.
All right, cool. Listen, what do you want to talk about this week? Because
I think some people want to have a bit of a part 3, I guess, of the Clásico.
Okay. So my response to your response, kind of thing.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that would be good. I mean, I actually didn't hear any of your Managing Madrid pod. So, and because your part 1 was brief. Oh, it was paywall. I didn't really get a sense of other than your initial churros and rolling the R. Tácticas. That was funny. I didn't get a sense of how you felt the night went for Real Madrid. Obviously deserved win. The biggest win since before Keon was born. And
biggest one. 1995, Ivan Zamorano, bam, bam, hat trick, baby.
But Michael that's more or less. That's when you were born.
The good side.
But that's when you were born, more or less.
That's true. I was born in 1997. True.
Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, I mean, if you want to start there, then we can talk about the weekend. I mean, a lot happened over the weekend. What's the latest on that?
The weekend is boring. I mean, Barca won the league.
No, I mean, I'm talking about Real Madrid.
The real story is what happens underneath Real Madrid right now. I mean, Atlético could very
only
possibly
2 points
grab
away.
Second.
Right.
Yeah. Villarreal's win against us was massive for them.
It was so good.
Yeah, there's a lot at stake underneath the champion bracket.
What do you know about the Baena fight? Yeah.
I suppose Baena Fede is not something we've discussed yet. Yeah, there is that. I have not commented on that.
Really?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I don't really. It's one of those things where like everybody has to like just put an opinion quickly, and I don't. I'm always. I don't know. I don't really. I didn't feel like chiming in on that for whatever reason, other than the fact that um, if anyone said anything about my kid, if anyone and anyone said anything about your kid, I'm sure we all would react to some degree that maybe we would regret later. I don't think what Fede did is justifiable, but I also don't blame him for reacting a certain way. And obviously, there's going to be, I mean, he's going to get in trouble for this because there's no evidence, and of course, there would be no evidence of Baena saying what he said because who the hell is going to be able to document something like that that is being said to Fede? And certainly Fede does not strike me as someone who would make something up like that just so he can go punch someone. It was an action that will deservedly be punished because you can't be throwing hands like that and then not accept any repercussions. But I also don't necessarily judge or hold anything against Fede for reacting the way he did, because if it's true that Baena said what he did, I certainly can't sit here and say that I would have
What if
been
it's not
completely
true?
righteous.
What if it's not true? And because we saw images of the tension sort of incrementing and increasing as the game progressed, right? Between Fede and Baena.
It just would seem really, really a little bit too ridiculous to make something like that up just so you can go punch someone after, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, you would have to be kind of sick in the head to do something like to make it up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I believe Fede
Yeah.
when he says that.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is one of those things that like I don't. What am I going to comment on social media? Just to say a bunch of this stuff that I verbalize now. You know what I mean? And it was hard to kind of comment on, other than the fact that what I said, it is what I said, basically.
Yeah.
But he is going to be punished for it. I mean,
What's going to happen? I mean, I was reading that there could be this could go beyond obviously just the like football. This could be actually brought to the police.
well, I think it was right. I
It
mean,
is. It is.
Baena
It
did,
has been denounced. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know what those punishments will be, but
Mm,
I mean, I don't think it's going to be that crazy. I think you know what he can get charged for, and then he'll probably miss like a bunch of games in La Liga this season, which, quite honest, from a sporting perspective, who cares?
mm.
Um, but I don't think it'll be anything beyond that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I don't know. It's not
What
something
did what
I
did Pepe get for his lash
11
that year?
games.
Remember, 11 games.
I
This is
want to
not
say it
worse
was
than what
8 or
Pepe did,
11.
is it?
No.
Or on par, I guess, at worst.
I mean, Jesus, it was because we don't have the images, but what Pepe did was it was the most is the craziest thing I've ever seen on the pitch. It's just the person that lost the plot and went full blown psycho mode.
What do you think Zidane would have gotten for the headbutt if he didn't retire?
Now, okay,
Yeah.
at the
I mean, yeah,
time,
he retired, so it didn't really matter. It was
yeah,
his
yeah, yeah.
sleep.
This is
Yeah.
final. That's right. That was what made it so poetic. Uh, what would you get? I mean, between 8 and 11 matches, something like that. 8 matches, maybe.
Yeah. So I that's probably what Fed is going to get.
Mm.
Baena's reporting like he got a little concussion. I'd be surprised if that was true.
But how did you see that? I mean, in retrospect, forget what why it happened and what happened. Watching the match, were you because you see it when two players have it out for each other. We saw it in the Clásico and throughout history. Were you aware of what was happening, what was brewing
No,
between the two? No.
I didn't. I mean, I was completely surprised about the whole Fede thing for obvious reasons, but at the same time, like I didn't see. We've played VARL before, and there has been tension before. Like this game didn't strike me as more tense than, for example, our last game against Villarreal, where Pepe Reina got off the bench and he was yelling at Vinicius. That one seemed more tense than this one. I didn't see anything brewing that would cause some violence. Something must have been said. That's why I believe Fede.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea.
Like my kids would be completely off limits if someone said shit to me. Honestly.
100%. I wouldn't be able to control myself.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and act sanctimonious. I mean, I would. Yeah.
And also, if what he said was true, who is the sick person, Fede or Baena?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Well, let's see. I haven't. I've seen the headlines. I've not had the time to really dig into it. And comunicados oficiales, like these official statements that get put out from one side or the other, say little to nothing when it comes to the actual facts. So, it's just been talked about a lot. Journalists coming out talking about it. I haven't really heard of any. The scene I imagine, which was like when Mourinho was waiting for the ref in the Camp Nou parking lot after whatever Clásico that was. Like,
was that the one before the Porqué speech?
Yeah, it must have been. It must have been. But so I would just like to know what actually happened and just hear the truth, I guess. But realizing that we're probably not going to get that, and that really,
I don't think we're going to get the truth.
We're not.
Baena's not going to come out and admit anything.
Right.
Actually, in fact, he already denied it. So
yeah, correct. So okay, well, and then the loss to Villarreal. So coming off of the high in the Clásico, eliminating us in the historic victory at the Camp Nou, were you guys like, woo? And I know you're gonna say like, nah, whatever, it doesn't matter. Sporting wise, Liga's lost, whatever. But now Atlético is 2 points behind. Surely it matters whether you qualify or end the season rather second or third, even if it is just for pride's sake.
I was thinking about that too, because
we talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about it. In the end, does it really matter if you finish second or third?
You don't. I mean, do you still have to do the play-in, the preseason?
No, I think that's old news. That was before rule changes and some coefficients were reshifted. So I think you get it anyway.
Well, then it's just a pot, right? Whichever pot. Like you don't want to. Like if the higher you finish, you can't keep drawn with the other giants.
Yeah.
Which in your case you don't care.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. Put us on pot Z. The lower the pot, the better. We can punch above our weight and everyone can doubt us.
That's it.
No, look, did the 4-0 in Clásico, I mean, it was just good to get to the Copa final with regards to like the score and stuff. Like if it was against a big team, like I think it'd be cool, but like, it's just against
it'll be fun against Osasuna, man. I'm looking forward to that game.
No, I mean beating Barça. Like if you're just beating a Europa League team, right?
Are you
so
fucking,
like it's not that big a deal.
You
like these things
gotta
like
stop these jokes. You have to stop.
Are more important for Barça against Real Madrid because those are like the only trophies you win. Generally.
And that's why your motherfuckers are like, hey, in the fucking. Hey. I don't see them doing these kind of dances very often, Kian.
Well, we dance
like
against
Carleto going, y mañana fiesta. By the way, applause to Cynthia and the whole Villarreal guys.
Oh, you think the
Villarreal right back? Yeah, when they just trolled you so hard in that moment. That was so good.
Good banter. Good banter. Having said that, I really did enjoy the Ancelotti the day off thing. I thought that was awesome. Yeah, listen, it was good. I think we were all happy after the 4-0. I think it was due. And
even though before the match you sent me another one of your famous texts. You said congrats.
I think by at minute 44 of the game, before Vinny scored, I was kind of right. It's not going well.
You mean to say that we were closer to the 1-0 than you were to
You were
the.
closer to the 1-0. By the end of it, we were closer to the 10-0 than you were to the 1-0, I think. But I think I asked you this. I don't remember what you answered. Were you worried it was going to be more than 4 at any point?
Yeah, yeah, you asked me that. And yeah, of course. I mean, I never expected it to get to 4, even though I judged on from what I saw in the first half, meaning when it was 2-0 down, I felt like, look, a goal and we're in this. That's all we need.
Yeah.
Just fucking keep playing like we did in the first half. We're in this. And then it was the cheeky penalty, and the 3-0, and then it was the clear, like amongst me as a spectator, the shoulders were dropped. But I felt that the team was already dropping their shoulders after the 1-0, and then coming out the second half, boom, 5 minutes in, Benzema scores the 2-0. Then I felt like there was already this fragility that you mentioned, and that I also, I mean, it was so evident, obviously, that I addressed, became so apparent. And then it was like, holy shit, this game is lost. I still had faith as a fan that the 2-1 was there. 3-0, it was over. And then, with the 4, yeah, I mean, obviously I didn't want more. And at that point in time, you can expect anything to happen. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was I think the most important question I probably asked you, and actually you even spoke about it before you even pressed play on mine to see what the question was
Yeah.
the mentality part of it.
Yes.
Because Araujo talked about it, Sergio Roberto talked about it. This goes back to Alba crying at halftime at Anfield, even though game's not even over.
Exactly.
Conceding 1 or 2 goals and then falling apart. And I think on the flip side, when Real Madrid is the one on the other end of it, which is like the kind of the opposite stereotypical cup game mentality guys who don't get phased by this stuff. I think it seemed like a bad combination, but it also brings an interesting discussion that you guys defended way better in the first leg, not playing an open game. And I'm kind of glad that you guys decided to open up and play more football. It was great. It was great for all of our attackers, and also one of the primary difference was that Rodrigo finally started the Clásico. I was just really happy about that.
And I had to remind you of that because, again, at the start, you said congrats. And I looked at his starting 11. I'm like, well, at least Rodrigo's fucking in there. What, you're already, this defeatism on your part. Why do you have that? I don't understand. That's why I don't understand why you could be supporting somebody like Ancelotti when consistently you're disappointed with his lineups. And it just like, I just feel like you're kind of riding the roller coaster. You're like, this sucks. We win. Look at this. We win. This is bullshit.
That's a great representation of what it's like being a Real Madrid fan. It is a roller coaster. It's constant. Look, the Camavinga left back thing was I was skeptical about because his best position is in midfield. And I was worried about, if this is an open game and Barca attacked that space and behind him. But Camavinga,
he was a good help for Rodrigo.
He was.
As well.
He was.
For
and
Vini,
I think the main thing also, in addition to him being really good on the ball, and he didn't misplace any passes that game, was he did an amazing job on Rafinha defensively.
He put him in his pocket.
That was huge. Yeah, it was huge for us. And so he pleasantly surprised me. I know we've seen Camavinga play great at left back before, so this is not necessarily a surprise. But I think I was surprised to the extent of how well he locked down Rafinha while also being great on the ball was massive for us.
I would love to see. Sorry, finish your thought.
No, go ahead.
Camavinga versus Dembele. Dembele with rhythm, obviously, with minutes and healthy. But if he would be as easily annulled and erased from the game like Rafinha was under Camavinga.
I guess we'll never know.
Well, maybe hopefully next year. Who knows? But no, because we talked about the matchup.
I don't think Camavinga will play left back much next year.
Okay, well that's another question. Of course, he would have to play in that position. Yeah.
We're getting Fran Garcia back also in the summertime. Shout out to Fran Garcia, scored a great goal against Atlético on the weekend. In a
shout out. That's my air horn impression.
Probably better than the real thing.
So, well, anyways, man. Hey, what I liked as well is that you brought up the fact that I saw this coming. I was like, I feel like
Yeah.
the impact of this will be huge. The score is gonna be like,
But
yeah,
you didn't truly
impactful. But
believe that, did you?
I did. I well,
You
no,
were
believe
jinxing
no.
it.
It was just, it was a no. I had a gut feeling, and the gut
Mm.
feeling was based on the fact that we were up three clásicos, as in, back to back to back wins, missing nearly 50% of our starting team. Madrid coming to the Camp Nou, wanting to get a win, having good momentum, having, physically they looked as well better than Barça. So they wanted to draw blood. I mean, I was expecting a hungry Madrid side. And, I was like, if it has to happen, it's got to happen now. Like, this is the match. And that's kind of what I said
Yeah.
before when talking to you as well. I'm like,
But I
yeah.
said that like so many times in my life that I just gave up on the idea. So I was really skeptical that that would happen. I think in addition to some of the things I was surprised about, like Kamavinga putting Rafinha in his pocket, um,
There's a lot of
Rodrigo
criticism right now towards Rafinha, to a lot of Barca players. There's so much
and Lewandowski.
pessimism. Lewandowski, Ansu Fati, Ferran Torres, Rafinha, Sergi Roberto, Eric Garcia. Who am I leaving out here? I mean, Kessié, the Busquets, Jordi Alba. There's so Marcos Alonso. 10 players I've named right now that are under continuous fire from culés, from Barça fans.
So who are the ones that are like the
Like,
everyone loves?
you'll
Gavi,
be
Pedri.
surprised. Me, in the office, I do my work. I want to get it done as quickly as possible. I'm lucky in that sense that I somewhat work autonomously, but I don't get caught up too much in the chitter chatter around the newsroom, just because I'm on time constraint, right? I got to get videos done, get the program organized, and then record at a certain time, so I'm busy. But I hear what people talk about around me, and this is, from within, like, not just culés, but people that work for the club, and I'm like, listening to their takes on, our players, like our players, and I'm kind of like, it baffles me sometimes. It baffles me, like, how negative and they are towards these players.
So yeah, that is an unfortunate thing for you guys, given that you guys have comfortably won the league.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would be worth remembering that although Lewandowski has cooled down quite a bit, he is a huge part of the reason why you guys have won the league, because before the World Cup he scored an incredible amount of goals, right? And that was a huge kind of launching pad for you guys
Yeah.
to create to get all these points. So that should be remembered. I guess the concern with them is his age. Um, I also got to say, like, I understand completely the sentimental reason of bringing back Messi, and
Hmm.
there seems to be an effort to do so. I do wonder how if that is actually a smart move
Yep.
from a sporting perspective.
Yep.
Um, and if it would just be better, just going with more younger wingers who, yeah, you and I have talked about this. You got to change your style if you bring back Messi.
Yeah.
Um,
You don't get the defensive sacrifice that a Xavi wants from his players, etc.
yeah, and I think it's interesting. As an outsider, I'm fascinated to see what the short-term future of Barca is in a lot of ways, because on one hand you have the up and comers like Gavi and Pedri, but then on the other hand you do still have a huge core of older players.
Yeah.
And who's the goal scorer after Lewandowski? That's a big question mark. Um, we have the same question mark in Madrid with Benzema, obviously.
Yeah.
Um,
Look, I think this
yeah,
team
and
can improve, obviously. And I agree with you that I like so many, of course, have obvious questions from a sporting perspective with regards to a possible return of the GOAT. I think the question is as well, like, where does Xavi want to improve the squad? What happens with, I mean, a lot of players, like, I think this summer is going to be very interesting for Barça, given the fact that we still need to lower our salary cap like 200 million euros or something crazy. And at the same time, have, a handful of assets that clubs could be interested in. And a lot of those are, of course, are younger prospects, knowing that you're going to have Lewandowski for another season. Xavi quite vocal about Busquets playing another season. Sergi Roberto just renewed his contract. So yeah, there's a lot of these old guards, like you say, that were still gonna be here next season. So where does it leave these younger players? Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's
Chelsea.
interesting is that like you guys don't really have anyone expiring anytime soon. Like the only one expiring this summer is Busquets, who may stay another season still.
Yeah.
Rafinha 2027, Ferran 2027. Um,
The thing is,
yeah,
those players have, you could argue, have, more market, as in Ferran is still young. He's 22 years old. He was acquired last season. You know, assuming that Barça paid, reported, what was it, 55 million for him. How much can you sell him for next summer in order to get a good price or not lose money, right? I mean, I don't think a club would want to pick him up for 55, taking amortization into account, his salary, etc. Like, what would you need to sell him for? Let's, toss up a number, like, I don't know, 40 something, 45, between
for
40
who? For
for Ferran.
no way anyone's paying 40 for Ferran. Come on, no chance.
What about a Rafinha? 75 million paid. If he would have to go, he's a player that has market for sure. What would you sell him for? Certainly not 75 again. So you're looking again, where could you sell him in order to at least break even? Taking his
To be
his
quite
contract.
honest with you, and I don't like, I'm sure there are Barca fans who would disagree with this take. I think he is probably the least of your concerns. I think you don't sell Rafinha. I think he's a really good squad player to have, and I think he's one of the ones that you should keep. I'm more worried about the older players, the younger, like Ferran. Okay, that's a different story. But Rafinha at least gives you the profile of, like, if Dembele's injured, he gives you the profile you need as a dribbler, a line breaker, and a player, even though he doesn't look great at times, like he did in the Clásico, can also provide you with good stuff and maybe just ride the wave with him. I guess I'm more thinking about like
Is
the
Dembele old
depth.
guard? He has only
No,
like 1 year left on his
he's like
contract.
middle guard.
Do you
The
sell him then?
Healthy Dembele is someone that every team would want. Um,
Six
Question is only
years. When has he been healthy in crunch time? It's like very similar to Neymar in PSG story here.
that's true. He did give you guys a pretty good run this season up
It
until
was
he got
great.
injured,
It
though.
was the best Dembele we talked about. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I'm more concerned for you guys about like who is the depth after Pedri and Gavi and Frankie. Mind you, those are three really awesome midfielders. So I guess it doesn't necessarily matter who you fill it out with, but
Well, what annoys me is, like, a Pablo Torre was brought in with all this excitement because of what we were seeing from him, how he carried Santander, um, this prospect that played, Barca style football, already leader of his squad. He was, like 17 there, and the focal point of that Santander game, carried them to success. Gets brought in under the pretext of, all right, well, officially it's the B team, Barça Atlético, but he's never going to train with them. He'll be constantly called up to the first squad as well. But he's never had minutes, man. Like, we have not seen anything from this kid other than a few odd minutes in the Copa del Rey and for Barça Athletic with Rafa Marquez, where he actually had an immediate impact on his very first game. He gave a deadly pass into the box and they scored within the opening. It was like the quickest game. I was calling that game. It was the quickest game in like the I think it was the youth. Was it youth league? It might have been the youth league. You talk about depth. My answer is Pablo Torre. That's what he was brought in for, right? Yeah, we have a Nico out on loan to Valencia. I thought, his future was here.
So has he not been playing regularly for Barca B?
Torres?
Pablo Torre.
Torre? No, not regularly. No, not at all.
That doesn't seem to make sense. If he's not playing with the A team, he should at least be playing with the big B team, no?
Yeah, well, he's only played like, top of my head, I think it's like 3 games.
Well, he's played 3 games in La Liga, 3 games in the Champions League. Is that right?
If it's on Transfermarkt, then
that's what it says. Yeah. I wonder if it was those. Yeah, I don't remember when he played in the Champions League, but interesting. Yeah, so
look at
those
the
are all
minutes.
questions.
It's nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything minute-wise. I mean, one of his Champions League appearances, I think he came on the 95th minute. So that counts, I guess, but not really.
No.
Yeah, those are all interesting questions about Barca, I think, and how that juggles. I always find it interesting to see how these things play out because, as we know, season to season can be wildly different. Things don't go as projected. And, in some ways, we do face some of the similar problems, like who replaces Lewandowski and Benzema. Neither of us really know the answer to that. You guys already have the post-Alba guy. That's Balde.
Yeah.
Araujo is super young. Koundé's not old. You guys are Pedri and Gavi and Frankie are really young. You guys are. I guess I'm kind of interested to see how you fill out the depth and also who is the star, because I think that's the main question: is who's going to be the attacking star.
Yeah,
I don't really have that for the future lined up.
And there's a lot of talk. It's just it also this Victor Roque kid from Brazil. It's like your token Brazilian. That gets taught, the name that gets tossed around another season, another Brazilian, I feel. And that's no disrespect towards these guys. It's just that, like, we just kind of have to suppose that they're the hot shit over there because the press is telling us, unless you are super diligent and watch all the Brazilian football matches, or what's the La Liga called over there? Whatever the Primera División is.
Primera, yeah, something like that. So, okay. Diego, I got to run, but do you want to give us some Champions League predictions? City Bayern today.
I'm like finishing this pod on a massive downer. I'm realizing we're in deep shit.
You guys are league champions.
Yeah.
Look
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I fucking tell you? Like, we're league champions, and it's like the most pessimistic that I've seen people around me.
I love it. I love it. Cannot wait to see the cover of Mundo Deportivo after Real Madrid win the Champions League in Copa del Rey.
Oh my God! Please don't.
I'm kidding.
Please
kidding.
Don't.
That's not gonna. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Don't worry.
Thank you.
I'm also. I told Madridistas after I think the day after Clásico, I said, "Hey guys, I know you guys are all enjoying this, but just wait till the Osasuna final rolls around. Low block, frustrating game. It's gonna be lots of suffering. Just wait for it." And
Jacobo. Come on, Jacobo, arrasate. Come on, Chimi. Oh, the fury of Chimi. Come on, Abde. I'm hoping for an upset in that one.
Also, something else for you to cheer about.
What?
I think this might be the first time all season Chelsea tomorrow Lampard will have his whole squad available.
Yeah.
Kante's back, Azpilicueta's back, Mount is back, Thiago Silva's back. So just wait.
Are you happy? Would you rather have faced Lampard's Chelsea or Luis Enrique's Chelsea?
Lampard.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yo, you lucky son of a
But you never
bitch.
know.
You
That could
got
come
it.
back to bite me because Lampard is like the, I don't know, the respected figure who could inspire them.
Give me a break.
Everyone knows
They're not
him.
gonna do shit. This is gonna be a cakewalk until the semis against City. Go on, City.
Oh, you think City's going to beat Bayern?
Yes, I do.
Oh, because it's Pep.
Yes.
Oh, I really got to go, but I can't not bring this up to you. Did you see Pep's quote about Michael Jordan?
Yes.
Thoughts?
Yes. As in, he won 6 and played 16 seasons.
It just seemed like he was excusing. I don't think he should be comparing himself to Michael Jordan. I think he should be comparing himself to Phil Jackson.
Oh, very good. Well, you'll be able to
What was
ask him
Phil?
that in the pregame or the postgame when Real Madrid faced City.
Maybe. Oh yeah,
Ask
that's
him
a good
that.
one. I will actually. I'll ask him that. That's a good one. I have to think of the wording. Also Zidane would disagree with that. Zidane
Of
won
course.
3 Champions League titles in 1 year. It's crazy. His ratio is incredible.
No, it's insane.
But Pep, you got to win one. You can't. You're not even
Of
in the
course.
6 for 16 conversation. Not even close.
He
Right
knows
now.
it.
You're in the 1 in for 30 conversation. You got to at least get 2 in 30.
He needs to win another, for sure.
Yeah. For those confused, you can look it up. But Pep said that it's in the Champions League, it's more common to lose. And look at Michael Jordan. He played 16 seasons, only won 6 rings. All right, Diego.
All right,
This was
Playboy.
fun.
Yes.
When are we doing? Thursday or Friday this week?
Thursday, sir.
All right, patreon.com/churros y tácticas for the Raw Thursday edition, where Diego will be celebrating Chelsea's win over Real Madrid.
Come on. The first one is where? In Stamford Bridge or Bernabeu?
No, Bernabeu.
All right. Let's do it. I don't know why I'm getting my hopes up. It's going to be another
you should because we no longer have the Bernabeu for the second leg comeback.
Yes.
All right, congrats,
The
Diego.
plan is working perfectly. No, Bernabeu.
Congrats on the league. Congrats on Osasuna winning Copa. Congrats on Chelsea beating Real Madrid.
Thank you.
Really happy for you.
I feel better now.
Catch you next time, buddy. All right. This was fun. Take care. Peace.
Peace.
All right. Gotta go.
Buddy. Okay, me too. I'll speak Thursday.
All right, Thursday it is.
Ciao, buddy.
Right. So 6?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, bro. Peace.